The decade-long story of Gridlife Festival at GingerMan Raceway started in 2014. In 10 years, the competition has leveled up, the crowds have sold out, and now this event has enough gravity to pull tens of thousands into its orbit and hundreds of thousands watching from home. There's nothing quite like Gridlife Midwest, and for a long time, the competition format was solely a race against the clock. Time attack. Welcome to Gridlife at GingerMan Raceway and the Midwest Festival. This is the first of 3 qualifying sessions for the NOS Energy TrackBattle Championship. It's a race against the clock, absolutely, but with some added pressure from spectators, fellow competitors, and from the scale of the biggest grassroots racing festival in the country. Hi, everybody. Kyle Heyer, joined by Adam Nielsen, the voice of the international voice of Time Attack, or the voice of International Time Attack. I don't know which one it is.
It's been a long-running joke that I don't even know where it started from anymore.
Well, I'm glad to have you back here,
yes,
Adam.
Very excited to be back.
New format this season.
Yeah, very exciting. I've enjoyed watching it the last couple rounds. So.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here with us. This awesome coverage of Gridlife Midwest Festival is powered by Hyundai N. Hyundai N, never just drive. And by Falcon, the official tire of Gridlife Track Battle. All of our aerial coverage here this weekend is powered by Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the Hyundai Ioniq 5 Skycam. Look at this festival. Adam, this is just an unbelievable sight. The racetrack side is gorgeous, nice mowed grass, but the paddock is jammed full. The campground is jammed full.
I can't believe how many people are already here, and they still keep coming. I heard nearly a mile-long line to get in.
And it's still going, and it will continue to go most of the evening until the music starts, and probably even into that.
Yeah.
But on track now is qualifying 1, Adam. So, again, our format for our NOS Energy Track Battle Championship is now a kind of a weekend progression from qualifyings up to our podium sprint, which will be tomorrow afternoon. And what we do is essentially we take your fastest qualifying lap of those 3 sessions, and that is what will select you if you're in that top 5 for that podium sprint. Everyone else, they're going to take their best qualifying lap as their fastest lap of the weekend to count for their point system. But we have to qualify them first, and first on track is our Falcon Sunday Cup competitors, one of our favorite classes to always watch on track.
Some of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah, so we do have an entry list here, by the way, for you. I've ordered it by number, a little easier to find things.
Yeah.
But with the cars on track here, they're going to kick off their flying laps this time through. Down the front straightaway from our Ioniq 5 Skycam and into turn number 1. We got... Jim Smith. Yeah, he's got a new livery. Is this a new livery on this car?
It is a new livery on this car. He's put a lot of work into this car from last year into this year. He even had it on the dyno yesterday, had Andy Smedgard dancing on the keyboard doing some tuning for the car, which is kind of a little bit outside of what's normal for Sunday Cup, but that just shows how much the competition has increased.
I was going to say it just feels like now with Sunday Cup, it was and still is to some extent kind of a buddy class where everyone's just kind of having fun. But now they're getting real serious about it.
Extremely serious, yes.
And when we mean serious, it means we're trying to extract every one of the 100 wheel horsepower these things
Yeah, most of these cars are somewhere between like 95 and 105 horsepower. So 25 to 1 power to weight is the basic rules of the class. Stock aero, no significant body modifications. So yeah, just kind of entry-level slow cars driven very fast.
Yeah, and he was fast enough at Midwest Rev Up a couple of weeks ago to win that round, 26 points with that extra track record point that he got at Rev Up. So he has currently scored 6th in the season standings, but Jacob Abbott in the 126 from Abbott Auto Performance, he has been the class of the field so far, 1 at Carolina Motorsports Park, 3rd at Watkins Glen, 2nd at Rev Up. So he's leading the standings over Michael Ross Smith in the 395. And we should have everybody here this weekend. Are we missing Michael Ross Smith?
I think Michael's not here, and a few other of our kind of perennial runners from years before, but still a pretty good representation of the field on average.
Yeah, so right now it's the 463 leading the way, and looks like James Smith, 2nd place right now. Again, these lap times are going to show, this is different from last year, these lap times are going to show only the best of the weekend for each of these drivers. So as they improve, we're going to see them climb up the order, but a time here is going to show in Q2 and Q3 tomorrow as well. And there's James Smith, top of the board at 154.015, and I will have to get my track records sheet up and open to be prepared for it.
I believe that's still a little ways off of the track record. Probably pretty hot for setting lap records.
I would say that you're right.
Unlikely.
Yeah, the track conditions are not exceptional. There's that 463. This is a very different car to see in Sunday Cup.
Yeah, an EF Civic, a full double wishbone car all the way around. Kevin had that car on the dyno last night trying to fine-tune some things. He has a ton of ballast weight to make that car legal.
Yeah, and he was at Rev Up, but I believe there was a technical infraction of some sort and was not scored with any points there.
No, he wasn't sure that he was within power to weight spec for that car at the time.
So he will be down the order a little bit in the season standings, but certainly second place already. So the advancing, those top fives, those are the drivers that will advance to the podium sprint tomorrow afternoon. And this is why we're watching that cut line here with Davidson, Howard, Wendland, Wolf, and Urban. They need to run a little bit quicker to get up into that top five. A 56.8 is our cut line that we'll be watching all weekend long. And Dietland in the 488, he's got a 56.8, and it's 2 seconds back to the 122 car.
That's a big gap.
That is a sizable gap, I would say.
Especially for the normal Sunday Cup group. They're always very, very tightly run.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking hundreds by the end of the weekend.
Sometimes, oftentimes, yes.
Yeah. And Lucas Urban is back. Is he running the ZX2 again?
He is running the ZX2.
That was always a car that had some controversy around it, Adam.
What a madman as well. Drove here from Colorado Springs in the car that he plans on competing, which is, I mean, Sunday Cup should be most reasonable class to be able to do that in, but still a big risk. And the car did break down on the way here. He was stranded for a while, managed to figure out how to get it fixed, and is still on track today.
It's amazing, and I always love talking about the drivers that really put in the commitment to come a long way for this. I said earlier in the GLTC race that this is our Daytona, right? I mean, this is what you come for. This is the trophy that you want to win.
Yeah.
Because this is where the best of the best is and where the field is the strongest. Is we see a car bouncing through turn number 1. It's Ryan Mukherjee. Is that how you say that name? I think so. I said it like that at CMP, and he didn't correct me, so I'm going to roll with that.
That's as good as it gets, then.
And he's up in 4th place right now. He's seen a couple of times on track so far this season, and currently scored 4th in the season standings, and that was a 3rd place at Carolina Motorsports Park, and I believe a 5th at Rev Up a couple of weeks ago. So already outpacing that. But some of the slowest cars in the field, Adam, but some of the most fun to be had and some of the least time spent working on cars.
Oh, for sure. You know, these really should be kind of a show up, play around on track, don't really mess with the car much. So maybe some tire pressure changes. That's about it.
Yeah, Lucas Urban with a 5-minute, 28-second lap. So obviously probably sorting something out in the pit lane there. We'll see if he gets a flying lap in. And if I remember at Carolina Motorsports Park, he was there but had an issue on the outlap in the podium sprint and never got to run a lap.
Yeah,
so,
I believe that's true.
So he never got a chance to really lay it down and show us what that car's got at Carolina. So this is going to be his first real opportunity if he can get up into that podium sprint position to show us what he's got tomorrow afternoon. So still watching, and what we have not seen a lot of, Adam, is not a lot of green, and the green would tell us that they are improving their laps. So again, hot afternoon. I would say Q2 tomorrow morning is probably going to be, we're going to see a lot of green as drivers continue to improve and advance. But it gives you the opportunity. You don't have to run all 3 of them. You can just run one if you'd like.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a good idea to run as many as you can.
I think especially with the Sunday Cup guys, they never miss a chance to be on track. So that's not the point of the class.
Here's Chris Rice in the 91, 3rd in the season standings, 4th at Carolina Motorsports Park, and he won at Watkins Glen in the very wet podium sprint. He was able to get the job done there. And that was a sketchy situation there as we look down from Ionic 5 Skycam into turn number 1. That was a tough scenario for everybody.
Not the best weekend for that track, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I love Watkins Glen, and we put on a show, but it just time attack in the rain with our new format is better than it would have been. Sure. But it was still put a damper on all the record breaking and all the fun stuff.
It's just not as much fun,
no,
for sure.
Definitely
Lucas
not.
Urban getting in a more representative time there for him.
Yeah.
A 1:57.1.
About 9/10 off qualifying into the podium sprint, and I'm sure he'll be able to find a little bit more time in that after getting a couple more laps. How much does a fuel load impact a car like this? Are you going to try to fuel up the car just enough, or you're just going to fill it up and it doesn't matter?
Well, I'm sure a fuel load is a big deal, but again, it's a power to weight class, so you need to be mindful of that. If you go out there, whoa,
a little off track there.
The rally line there.
Is that Dietland in the 488?
I believe so.
It went for a little ride. But again, pushing the limits, you have to. And this racetrack, naturally, with how much open space there is, you're willing to push that limit a little more and step the car off track a bit. It's hard to hit stuff here, so you might as well push the limits. But we have seen some oopsies.
Yeah, we've had some pretty exciting mishaps in Sunday Cup even.
Yes, and thinking of Pete Lindbergh is what we're thinking of, and we're wishing the best for him. He's not here this weekend, at least not yet. But Pete, thinking of you, buddy, had a broken arm after an incident here a couple of weeks ago. took a tumble in that car.
What a brutal situation.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He had the best attitude through the whole thing. Pete always does.
The best attitude, absolutely.
But I would not have been very thrilled.
I'm sure he's watching,
so.
wishing the best to you, Pete.
Yeah. And thanks for all you do for Gridlife, and we're feeling your lack of presence here this weekend.
Absolutely.
Up the back straightaway, here comes a car we haven't really put eye. Oh, this is 488 again? Yes, it is. It's Dietland again. We have put eyes on him so far. Look, he's going pretty quick down there into turn number 11.
Like he's on a flyer.
Right down to the apex curb at turn number 11 and back up onto the front straight. We'll see if he improves.
Beautiful.
Ooh, took a sneeze there. Across the stripe. Here comes a 488. No improvement, it looks like. Still holding tough. Oh, Lucas Urban improves. There he goes. A 156, 160. And now that cut line's a 10th. We said it would come down to it already.
That's so tight.
And you see him hucking the car through turn number 2. My favorite thing about this format, Adam, is the drivers don't know. They have no context on track where they are. All they know is they have to keep pushing.
I know we see a lot in GLTC especially. There's a lot of guys out there with radios in car and crew on headsets and stuff like that. You're not going to see that in Sunday. Well, I shouldn't say you're not going to. So far, we haven't seen that in Sunday Cup.
And this is the battle. This is the battle right now. It's head-to-head. And they're probably going to be coming back to a checkered this lap, too. So this will be your last opportunity in Q1. And you never know what happens in Q2 and Q3. You could get held up. You could get a yellow or a black flag. So you have to take every opportunity. And for Dietland, he doesn't know that he's just been knocked out. So he's got to push all the way to the end. And this is the beauty of this format. Before, you could lay down a reasonable lap and you'd roll on into the pits and, I'm good for now. But
close enough.
Yeah, but now you cannot do that if you want to be in the big show. And you get points if you're not in the podium sprint, but the points drastically drop off after the top 5 or top 3, really. So you got to be in the mix. And again, our point system is different this year as well.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into the point system. It's totally different from years before. So.
Yeah, so it's very similar to the GLTC format. So basically, first place, 25 points, second place, 21, and then 18, 16, 15, and so on and so forth. But a track record gets you 1 extra point.
That 1 extra point at the end of the season, especially in a class as tight as Sunday Cup, that could really come down to making or breaking an entire season.
It really could. It's your best 4 events like it has been in seasons past, but if you trade 2 wins with another guy back and forth, then it's going to come down to who broke the most records. And so while in some ways you could argue that the immediate effect of the records is that they're not as important, I think they will be championship deciding this season. So, hey, look at Dietland back up ahead of Urban, but he gets knocked out again immediately by Lucas Urban at a 55-2. It bumps Mukherjee down to the cut line, and Dietland out again.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. This is what this format was designed to do, is keep you pushing.
I believe, if I remember this correctly, this is Lucas Urban's first time at GingerMan.
That sounds about right.
And so, it's going to take him a while to get up to speed. It's going to take him a while to figure things out, learn where he can and can't push and stuff like that. Quite possibly, there's a lot of time left in there for him.
Yeah, and again, we were expecting a checkered. I didn't see if they got it this time, but keep pushing. It looks like they might. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're on a flyer or not.
Well, especially in Sunday Cup.
Yeah, but again, Lucas Urban doing all he can do, but the cut line now is about 0.6 of a second for Matt Dietland, so that's quite the improvement that he will have to find in that 488. He just chucked that thing into turn 7. That was cool. And we got a great display of car control back at Heartland Park last fall.
Yeah.
I can't recall which driver it was.
I remember what you're talking about, and
Oh, wow, big slide there through 8 and 9 for Dietland. But, yeah, it was it the Dead Bear race? No, it wasn't the Dead Bear Racing Fit. It was the Subaru.
Oh, man, now I can't think
blanking.
of his name either.
Yeah, but Greg Kramer was talking about how you just put the weight on the nose and pivot.
Yeah.
And
so these cars, real stiff rear sway bar setups, and you kind of just pitch them in and let the back end do whatever it does and throttle out to straighten the car.
And down into turn number 11, looks like Dietland's going to pull off to the right. And we'll see if Lucas Urban is going to finish this lap. He will. So through turn number 11 and back across the stripe. He's already qualified in as it stands, but you can't rest on that. Will he improve once more and be a better seat? He will, up to third place for the 369 car.
Like I said, I'm sure he has tons of time to be found on this track.
Yeah, and he's finding it, and it's chunks at a time.
I know, like Jim Smith, that this is basically his home track. He's had probably hundreds and hundreds of laps across dozens of weekends at this track, and so he's going to find his time quickly, and he's going to stay there. First-time visit for Lucas, that can every session he's going to find more time. It's important for him to be out there as much as possible.
There's the 122 car that's out on track with a roof rack. That's Jason Davidson. And
we have proven with data that a roof rack is, like, I believe, if I remember correctly, 3 to 5 mile an hour on the back straight here. Slower.
Yeah, I would assume that
James
that's the
Morgan
case.
used to run with a roof rack because he lost the keys to remove the bolts, and when he got it off, I think he picked up 3 to 5 mile an hour on the back straight between 10 and 11.
So I guess as I'm drinking my my GT Grape NOS Energy for the NOS Energy Track Battle, this is the best flavor. People told me that.
The green is my go-to.
So they didn't have the green this weekend. I was bummed. What flavor is it?
Green. That's what
okay,
it
good.
is.
Excellent. No, the NOS is here. They have a huge activation on site, giving away free NOS to all the spectators and festival goers here this weekend. Supporter of the NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack Championship this season, and the sponsor for the main stage this year. So NOS coming on board big. Huge thanks to them for being a part of this. But we were talking about the roof rack thing. So I guess why not remove it? I guess if you lose your...
Well, I mean, I can't speak for sure for Davidson out there right now, but I know James Morgan, it was just stuck on his car for the longest time, and it was just too much work for him to take it off. I guess.
That's funny.
His was the original, what at the time was spec fit car.
Yeah, I guess
so. The class has changed dramatically, but that was the original Sunday Cup or spec fit build.
So from a rules perspective, of course, you can't have non-OEM rear aero on the car, but
yeah, the front is a little bit open, and the side skirts I believe are open as long as they're not touching the ground. But no wings or anything like that unless it's an OEM option.
So someone that's making a roof rack needs to make a roof rack with a little bit of airfoil in it.
Just gotta
make some downforce with your roof rack.
Don't even
bring that into the world,
because
hey,
then it will happen.
There's some pups with us trackside.
I've seen lots of dogs floating around here with what apparently are called doggles.
That's a real thing?
I guess.
I thought they were just like
more than one dog this weekend with doggles, which is goggles for dogs, I guess.
Protect their eyes. It's hot, hot and bright and sunny and loud. Yeah. All right. So, on track up next is going to be our Falcon Club TR class. Now, in how this format works, we have to combine a couple of classes. Now, Club TR in the past was combined with Sunday Cup. That didn't work so great because of the speed disparity in the car. So they're going to get some of their own on-track time here.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. But Club TR, these cars, while we've kind of seeded the order of the groups roughly by class pace, these cars are so much faster than we give them credit for. These cars are running GLTC lap times usually, and GLTC cars are not slow. Sometimes they're the fourth fastest car there in a weekend.
Yeah,
at places like Autobahn. But
the rule set for Club TR was kind of designed around the idea of GLTC cars pace. So while it's not a exact copy, a lot of these cars with minimal changes and some safety modifications could be GLTC legal.
So cars on track now, and one of them is going to be Grant Davidson, who's done a whole bunch to his Integra to get it set up.
Had a not-so-good weekend at Rev Up earlier this year, just 2 weekends ago.
Yep. And again, the club weekends, which Rev Up is one of, they don't run the podium sprint format. That is you run your fast lap, that's your lap for the weekend, like we've always done it. And we're going to have another one of those at Autobahn Country Club. We'll have another one at Heartland Park. Willow Springs is on that list as well.
Oh, that's right.
So those are all opportunities to race in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship without this new format. But all the drivers that I've talked to have told me, this new format, this is really the way to go.
Yeah.
And they've had a hard time going back to the old one now because it was so thrilling to be in this one.
I can see it lose some of the excitement, absolutely, for the weekend.
Yep. So Dana Basinski's also out on track, and last season we had the battle of a lifetime between Grant and Dana.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that they will continue to do so. But Dana's had a little bit of a head start. He was out at Watkins Glen and pretty handily took the win there by a handful of seconds in the wet podium sprint. So he is leading the championship.
Dana growing up as an ice racer in Wisconsin, I'm sure that he was in his element at Watkins Glen in the rain.
He was, and he also won at our Rev Up a couple of weeks ago here at GingerMan Raceway.
GingerMan?
Yep. So he now has that record, had the record at Watkins Glen, obviously in the wet, but also had a new splitter installed yesterday, and it tore off in lap 3 of practice. So I'm not sure how much he's repaired that car, but we will find out. Man, and Mario Moroni's out there, and We've got Peter Granberg also with a new K-Power livery on his BRZ.
Yeah, looking really good.
It does look good with some white accents on that blue car. Jeremy Bailey's back out there again. Fez Bobber in the yellow GR86.
One of my favorite cars.
Great looking car. Got his new company that he's making parts for those cars, Marizo Motorsports.
I saw that he just announced that. Very cool.
Really neat stuff.
I've got a huge soft spot for yellow cars. So.
And that yellow is striking.
So good.
I told him, I said, if Toyota had that in an OEM color, I would go buy that one.
I like the orange that you've got for your car.
Yeah,
yes,
well, for my car, yes.
Yes, but that yellow is real good.
Yep. Up into turn number 7 here. This is the first flying lap. Really tight pack here. They didn't really spread themselves out as much as I thought. This is not a track typically where you're going to see a lot of slipstream. We did see a ton of that at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In qualifying 1 when it was still dry.
Such a fast track.
So you never slow down there. And here you slow down a little bit, but especially these high load areas through 7, 8, 9, I think you want all the clean air on your nose. Again, you've got aerodynamics on here, and they are effective. It's not like an F1 car, but you're going to feel the effect.
Well, nothing really is like an F1 car, is it?
nothing quite like it. So up onto, is Evan Weeder out there? I think he's car number 3 in that line. Looks like it.
Yeah, I believe so.
So down the back straightaway towards turn number 11, and we'll start tripping some times across the timing and scoring loop. So season standings, Dana Basinski, Mario Moroni, the Dead Boys FRS, that's Jason Wynn, and then Ben Carter in the 611, who is here this weekend. He's been at all the events so far. As here goes our lap times, a 140.9 for Grant Davidson. And Basinski, better.
Oh, look at that. Dana.
Fez Bobber, 3rd place in the 61. That's that GR86. Evan Weeder in 4th, and Matt Koval in the 20 car in P5. Peter Granberg, 6th. Evan McLaren, Jeremy Bailey, and a couple other cars slotting into the mix here. Look at the number of cars.
I was going to say, how many do we have 28 Club TR entries?
28, that trip timing and scoring.
Lord.
That's a 3rd of the time attack field here this weekend.
That's incredible.
So yes, we need their own pack.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's a GLTC race.
That's this is what, the third year of Club TR?
I think 3rd year. I think we're 2021, I think was the first year, right?
What an incredible growth pace for the class, though.
Unbelievable. We have had some really large street GT fields also this year as well. I have not yet seen how deep it is this time around.
I've seen a lot of the street GT stickers walking through paddocks.
Yep.
So.
And that was one of the goals with the new decal package this year, is to make it a little easier to spot which car was which with the colored banners and
I love it.
The door cards and the rear bumper stickers and all that. But here comes Grant Davidson. I love this camera shot down here at 10B. We've never had this shot before. And this is up, climbing out right by the uphill kink, and then down towards turn number 11. Who's the second car in line here in this silver S2000? Is that Matt Koval? Yes, it is, in the 20 car. And we've seen Matt at both Watkins Glen and at Rev Up. 15 points at the Glen, 13 at GingerMan, and currently tied for 4th place in the Club TR standings, and jumps up to 2nd place. Evan Weeder into 3rd, and Basinski gets bumped to 3rd as Davidson goes a 39.9.
There we go. That's that magical sub 40 time.
That's a pretty impressive lap. Evan McLaren in the 514 improves down in 8th place. And Ben Carter, we talked about how you show up to an event like this, and this is when you get really the biggest competition. Ben Carter has scored points this season. He's 4th in the standings, 13th on the racetrack right now. That's how competitive it is at the moment. So Dana Basinski at a 140.4. I had thought he did better than that. No, that was it. A 140.4. So Koval went to 2nd quick. Piero Pucci's on track, also down in 15th place. Not Fast Motorsports is out there as well. And Peter Granberg pulling over to let on Fez on by. Whoop, there's a FCP Euro wagon out there.
Oh my gosh. I adore that car.
I didn't know it was running in Club TR.
It's a 5-cylinder engine. I'm not sure how that gets slotted in there.
Yeah, maybe they just let it get out there for, I'm not sure what for. But anyway, we've got our front 2. There's Davidson. Evan Weeder is behind him here, maybe trying to get some tow. Again, those are kind of essentially team cars running nose to tail.
Absolutely, the Acuity team guys.
Yeah.
So many of them here this weekend.
And it pays to have some friends out there.
It certainly doesn't hurt.
Not necessarily from a tow, but just to get out of the way at the right time. Here comes Basinski. I'm not sure if he's setting up or completing a flyer, but through turn number 11, right back on power. He's on it for sure.
A little bit of sliding there.
And across the stripe for Basinski. Is it going to be a pickup? It will not be. Past some slower traffic here into turn number 1. Fez Bobber picks up some time. It is 100th of a second between 5th place in the podium sprint and 6th place out of the podium sprint.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
This is why I love this, because in the past, you know, we'd be watching first place all weekend. Look at this.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Knocking 2 of them out of there.
And that is last-minute racing in the number 326 jumping into that position. And now it's so close. A 141.067 to a 141.122 for Peter Granberg. Just bumped out. And that 326, what is that car? I don't have it on my list as far as make and model goes, but Fez a little sideways there through turn number 6. But now this is going to set our grid really for the rest of the weekend here, because tomorrow morning you're going to know where you stand.
Yeah.
And you're going to push extra hard in those optimal conditions to try to improve. And then you'll have one more opportunity later in the day, right before the podium sprint, to throw everything you have at it. But by that point, it's a last-minute, last-ditch effort, because the track is not going to be optimal by that afternoon session.
Yeah, the morning sessions, a lot of times, that's the make or break for a lot of these guys.
Yep.
That's where you're most likely to score that extra track record point. That's where you're most likely to find your best standings. If something goes wrong or you mess up in that first session, you're in trouble.
We had practice sessions last night, and one of the drivers that really impressed everybody was Ferris Khartoumi, who is here this weekend.
Gosh.
Laid down a GingerMan track record by half a second over Will I Young's long-standing 2019 track record here.
One of our longer-standing track records.
Yep, and he obliterated it last night.
Absolutely. One of the things that I found almost more impressive than that was the session before that, where he went out and did, 4, 5, 6 almost flyer laps, which is unheard of for almost any unlimited class car that's at the peak of that class.
Whoa, Fez Bobber real sideways there. Maybe just putting on a show.
It's not the fast line, but it is the fun one.
I wonder if he's coming back on it. He looked like he was trying to sustain that a little bit. Down in 7th place, and again, he was 100th out, and now he's a 10th and a half out, or a 10th out at least. So he's got some work to do, and that sounds like so little,
but it's not.
But it's
really not.
With how close it is, that is a lot of time to find. And again, the 39.9 and a 41.0. There's basically only a second between the top 5 in a class where there's wildly different builds in the top 5. I mean, we got 2 front-wheel drive cars, 2 rear-wheel drive cars. A lot of Honda power in that mix. But
so much Honda power in Club TR. Fez probably being possibly the fastest not Honda-powered car right now.
I mean, that's the strength, right? This class is built for that kind of thing.
Koval's in a Honda. I don't know what exactly engine he's got, but it's a Honda. So.
And wow, look at this, through turn number 8 and 9. This is the 514 car, which is that's Evan McLaren. Yep, in an Integra, and
great last name.
It is he just needs a different car.
Well, I mean, I think if there's anybody who could be in a McLaren, they would be. So
yes,
it's safe to assume.
That's safe to assume. He's P8 right now, and he's not far out as far as positions go, but time-wise, a little bit more time to find. And has Evan run with us so far yet this season? Evan McLaren, I thought he had. But
certainly a regular.
He certainly is. I mean, we've already had this season 54 competitors in Club TR, which is a pretty. I'm Googling my stats.
Yeah.
So excuse me for one moment, but he has not competed in the points round yet this season.
Really?
I thought I had seen him before.
Certainly a name we've seen multiple times in the past. So
yeah, definitely been
last
around.
season and stuff like that. Yeah, very, very much a regular.
Yeah, and we might have seen him in a different class also, potentially, but 54 competitors in Club TR, which I think by far is the most we've had in any category. We've had 35 in Street GT. We've had 28 in Sunday Cup.
Really?
Street Class has had 37.
Oh, wow.
Street Mod is 33. Track Mod, we've actually had a lot, 36.
A brand new rule set for that class this year?
Yeah, Unlimited even, we've had 15, which is actually kind of a lot for that category. So the classes have really been packed full this year. Every event has been packed full.
I mean, what is it? On average, 100 cars at any given event, and we pretty much sell them all out. So
this is Nehru Chetty in the GR Corolla. This is an interesting car.
Yeah, this could be kind of a class-breaking car.
Yeah.
This was the kind of the buzz when it was released.
Well, that's what everyone was talking about, and we've seen a couple of these. I think Ben Harisco had one a couple of weeks ago as well, and I'm not sure if he's running in Time Attack this weekend, but it is a very quick turbo three-cylinder.
Yeah, three-cylinder.
But as far as the results have gone, I mean, Chetty is down in 22nd place, so perhaps there's still some learning the car to do for that particular chassis, but he did have a scary moment yesterday because his drain bolt backed out, and he almost blew the car up.
Yeah,
so.
He's parked across from where my friends and I are paddocked, and he pulled in. That car was smoking incredibly bad, dropping a lot of fluid, and we ran over there with a fire extinguisher just out of an abundance of caution. We weren't sure what was happening.
Yeah,
so.
It was a drain bolt that had backed out. Big slide for Weeder through turn number 6, but I smell popcorn.
I was just going to say,
Matt's making popcorn.
I
can't believe Matt's eating popcorn.
Amazing.
It's 5 o'clock. It's 90 degrees out. Anyway, but yeah, the drain bolt backed out. He oiled down the racetrack a little bit, but the car went into limp mode and looks like it saved it just fine. So I guess that's the beauty of modern cars, knowing to back it down instead of just letting it run dry.
Normally that's standalone territory for those sort of safeties.
Right. So that was good to see. Then he's still competing out there today. As Evan Weeder works his way through turn number 10B and up onto the back straightaway once more. So our top 5, they got sorted in the first couple minutes of the session. But we'll see if anybody's got anything at the tail end of this 20. They're going to bring us some popcorn. Thank you. We'll take some. Why not?
Oh
my goodness. It seems like a weird hot food.
Yeah, it's almost too hot for that.
Yeah.
We have slushies in our paddock. We have 5 slushy machines. 5 slushy machines.
That is a lot of slushy machines.
Yeah, we're not messing around. And
I mean,
a hot dog roller.
This is good popcorn too. Look at this. We're living it up at Gridlife, but it just feels like a weird food to eat in the middle of the day. But like, I'm for it.
Yeah, my son would be so excited.
This is an excellent combination. I mean, we got some NOS energy, got some popcorn, we got race cars. This is like the best. I'm having the best day.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
What a mess.
It's great. You should have some. It's good.
Yeah, eating on an audio system.
Oh yeah, this is ASMR.
It's everybody's favorite thing.
I'm not sure if they can hear that, but maybe for the better. We're having fun up here in the Club TR group here, but the top 5 kind of set their laps pretty early.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot of improvement by this point, but then we're going to move into street class, street mod, street GT, track mod, and unlimited.
So are all the classes, do they all have their own sessions? Is that how we've
That's the intention.
Splitting this up?
There's a checkered flag for this one.
I didn't know if there was going to be any combined groups at all.
There will be some combined groups, and we'll do those with the smallest groups that are close together in categories. So if we've got, I'm doing my hand signals now. So if we've got a group that is track mod, for example, if they've got 12 cars and Unlimited's got 5, we'll put those together. They're close in pace, and they're down on cars. As far as groups that are large enough to sustain their own group, we will give them their own time. The idea is to get as many groups their own track time as possible, but it's not always the case.
Right.
So we'll combine classes that make sense. Maybe Street GT might get thrown in with Street Mod or Street. We'll see. I don't actually know what they've combined yet.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were.
Nope. Emma up in timing. She's got it all figured out.
I don't know how she does it.
She's a really, I mean,
the level of organization she possesses.
Emma is our timing official here this weekend.
Yeah.
And she's also handles registration, and it is not a job that one person can easily handle, but she has done an amazing job.
Yes.
And this does not run. I should also mention that the live stream team does an amazing job connecting all these graphics and things together, but the timing is how all this stuff gets sorted. So if something goes wrong in timing, you're going to see it in the graphics. The drivers will see it on Race Hero. It needs to be flawless every time, and to have a fair competition needs to be flawless. So there's a lot of pressure up there to make sure it's right, and she does an amazing job as one human up there.
So it looks like we're combining Street and Street GT based on what's sitting there. So that should be an interesting combination.
Yeah,
sure.
Again, Street GT is another popular Gridlife native class, and what we mean by Gridlife native is a lot of these other rule sets we've created with the intention of allowing, or I guess, giving the drivers the ability to float around to other organizations and kind of keep their car relatively close.
Yep.
And make sure that we've got some kind of coordination. We've got the North American Time Attack Council, that competition running throughout the year with the SCCA, with Global Time Attack, to kind of give drivers the opportunity to have one car and do all the things. Now, our native classes, which would be Club TR, Sunday Cup, and Street GT,
Yep.
and I guess you could argue track modern a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Those classes are designed strictly from Gridlife ground up, and they are really unique rule sets. Sunday Cup and Street GT are similar in that they're very, very minimal bolt-ons.
Yep. Basically factory aero, some engine allowances, but largely just bolt-ons. Although Street.
Hey, there's your goggles.
Oh, yeah. See, exactly.
I've never seen these before in my life.
I don't know that I've even seen that dog this weekend. So I think that might be the third or fourth pair I've seen just this weekend.
I'm all for taking care of your animals. I got a cat at home. Love my cat Apollo.
Yep.
But I've never seen dog goggles, and it makes so much sense. We wear sunglasses. Why shouldn't they?
I suppose.
All right, so Street GT and Street. This is going to be a hectic one. We got a lot of really fast competitors on track here. Jackie Ding in that light blue BMW M2. He has shown the world what that car can do, and it's not done yet.
I've seen examples of those being tuned and making incredible amounts of horsepower with just basically tunes and downpipes, which is in the world of modified cars very minimal.
And here's the thing. We talked a lot about Jackie and the Supra, right?
Yeah.
I think we do see, is this Ben Harisco heading on track? I think it is, but this is a street class car.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of conversation around the Toyota Supra and the reliability that Jackie's car had with that BMW-sourced engine. And the M2 is that on steroids. And he already basically said in his YouTube videos about this car that the starting point of this car is so much better than they were expecting. So...
Oh, great.
As they continue to advance and work on this car and use this platform for their PhD racing developments, we're going to see a lot of discoveries made. Really, all they've effectively done is tires on this car.
So what you're telling me is he went and dominated Street Mod, and now he's just going to go and dominate Street GT, giving him,
For now.
He's going to get a little time to figure the car out, and then he's just going to run away with it again because he's Jackie Ding and he's a madman.
He has told me, and I'm not sure how much he's planned on doing for this season versus future seasons, but he has told me that the intention is to take this far beyond Street GT.
I desperately hope that that's true.
So it might look like a hill climb car by the end of next year. So
that's fine with me.
So, green flag now for Street GT and Street Class. This track is going to be a little busier now. We've got a lot of cars on track here. So, Street Class, this is a class that's usually dominated by turbo all-wheel drive cars. Street GT, typically rear-wheel drive, big displacement cars. You see a lot of Supras, a lot of Camaros, a lot of Corvettes, a lot of Mustangs.
Yep. So, forced induction 6 cylinders and naturally aspirated V8s for Street GT. Lots of Corvettes, yep.
Mike Kubiak in the 363. This is a Street GT Corvette. Big displacement cars, but the other thing that in the street side of things that we see a lot of is Teslas.
Yeah.
A lot of Teslas.
Yeah. Becoming more and more popular on the track. Incredibly fast cars.
So there is Kubiak now heading down into turn number 5 and 6. And compared to Club TR cars, a lot of the Street GT cars have a lot less aero. So you're doing a lot more with mechanical grip and going a lot faster at the ends of the straightaways as well.
So you spoke a little bit about the North American Time Attack Council. That C5 there, he's got stickers on his car for classing for the SCCA Time Trial Nationals.
Awesome.
Classic. So just showing that those cars can work in multiple classes across multiple sanctioning levels.
And that's the intention. And of course, also a recent announcement that some Gridlife classes will make their way north of the border with some Canadian time attack organizations, and that's really exciting.
Very exciting.
I would love to go to Mossport. That's what I'm saying.
Geez. Here we go.
Look, 4 best tracks in North America. Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen. I knew that was going to be on your list.
Road Atlanta.
Okay.
Mossport.
Okay.
Road America.
So I've been to 3 of the 4 of them. Well, no.
What have you not been to?
I guess I haven't been to Watkins Glen or.
Oh, you got it. Well, Watkins Glen, you need to go to in the dry.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I didn't make it there this year. It just didn't line up for me, and I'm kind of glad I didn't make it.
Yeah.
It sounded like kind of a terrible weekend.
Oh boy, we got a car off at turn 11, and looks like they might get rolling again.
Like a street class Subaru, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I can't quite read the numbers on that. By the way, your street class time's coming up on the board, and at the top it's Tony Barber in the 333. He's been a pretty dominant force in street class so far this season.
Model 3.
Yep, and he is leading by 1 point over Josh Halka.
Oh.
So that's a good fight. There's a 470 of Eddie Siegel, and he's P4.
I don't know that I've seen Halka's car here this weekend.
He is on track, and then is that Tom or it is Tom Halka.
Yeah.
I have not seen Josh.
I haven't seen Josh's car here at least.
He was at both CMP and at Watkins Glen, but not at Rev Up.
A long-time Gridlife regular. I think a multiple-time street class champion.
Yes. So maybe missing this weekend, but look who's back. Charles Miller is back in the 55.
So excited. Spaz is one of my favorite people.
And he's got a new livery this weekend.
What a good-looking car. Really exciting to see that.
Yeah, we'll find it on track hopefully as well. It's a blue and something.
Blue and purple? Yeah,
something
mostly
like that.
Blue and purple, yeah.
So that's what's going to be happening here in a couple minutes. We'll get that back. Eddie Siegel, by the way, only ran one event. It was at Watkins Glen. He came up second place, but had the track record in practice or qualifying, I believe. So that puts him 7th in the standings with only one event in the book. So that's pretty solid, considering everyone else other than Sam Bosnian, who won at Rev Up. He's the only driver in the top 10 or so that's only done one event. So that's an impressive climb.
Very cool.
So Tony Barber, again, leading the way in street. Josh Hulka not here, running in second. Richard Cho, I don't know if I've seen Richard here this weekend.
I don't believe I have either.
Nathan Brown up in 4th place. He is here this weekend, so he could certainly throw a wrench into things here. Then Sam Bosnian, Devin Herndon, Eddie Siegel, David Bruner, and William Rory and Nishant Patel, your top 10 in the street category.
Cool.
And, of course, our Street GT cars are also on track as well. Jackie Ding currently leading in Street GT over Kyle Magnuson by 4 thousandths of a second. A 137.6 versus a 137.647 versus a 137.651.
There you go.
That is a pretty incredible climb.
And third, not far behind, a 37.78.
There is your Street GT.
Look at that separation.
Oh my
gosh.
3 drivers all within a 1/10 of a second. That is crazy.
That's awesome.
Keenan Prusank in the 187. That's a Chevy Camaro. Right behind Brandon Hodge, who's in a Supra. And then 1/10 behind Keenan Prusank is Alex Arteat in his M3.
Yeah.
And Alex Arteat, I believe, was at Watkins Glen. Did not make it to the podium sprint. But there's Jackie Ding headed down the back straight. Looks like he's cooling it down. And that lap, as it stands, again, we talked about drivers maybe not feeling safe. That is a pretty decent lap, I would say. So he should be in good shape as we see Arteat bail off in the background.
I wouldn't say he's safe. A 37.64 to a 37.65. That's not, that's not the breathing room that Jackie is probably accustomed to.
Definitely not. But as far as getting into the podium sprint, at least.
All right, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Again, everything resets when you get to podium sprint, and it's all you can do in 2 laps.
That's fair.
So as far as being safe on pace, I don't know. But we do have a black flag. So that will send everybody to pit lane.
Oh, no.
For a car off, or maybe that Subaru didn't make it all the way back around again. But you see black flags waving from the corner stations, and that will put this session on pause as we get more look down the list here in the Street GT category. So Ding, Magnuson, Volkel, who's in a C8 Corvette. So look at this spread. We have a BMW M2.
Yep.
We have Porsche Cayman.
Is that what he's in this weekend?
Or yeah, Magnuson's in a Porsche, I believe. Yeah, the 570. Should be. Yeah, 718 Cayman.
Cayman.
And then
awesome.
Andy Volkel in a C8 Corvette.
C8, yep.
Luca Barres is a street car. Then it's Brandon Hodge in a Supra, Keenan Prusank in a Camaro. So 5 very different cars in Street
incredible.
GT. That's a really cool.
Still incredibly close.
Very close.
And the parity of that class, every event is incredible.
It continues to be. And I think even this season, we've seen some really strong grids, so it's going to continue to get more popular. As far as the street category goes, Luca Barberis actually jumped to the top in the 63 over Tony Barber and Mike Coons. So put Luca in the 63 up at the top of the board in his Evo.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a blue Evo, I believe. We've seen him before.
Yep.
Many times before. So little session on pause here for a couple of minutes while we find what the issue is on track. I think we'll take a little ad break for a second. We'll be back hopefully with the track resumed here in just a few minutes. We'll be right back from the Ioniq 5 Skycam. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Born on the track, bred on the mountains, raised on the podium, ready for anything and everything. Learn more about our entire line at falcontire.com.
Owning a car can be expensive. It can also be confusing. What? And when things don't go right, there's no doubt it could be frustrating. But it can also be a lot of fun. And for those reasons, FCP Euro exists. Check this out. Do you and your car a favor and head over to fcpro.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and when it comes to classics and high-performance cars, I only trust America's #1 racing oil, Valvoline VR1. It's built on Valvoline's long legacy in racing, so I can continue to build my own. With 2 times more zinc than the industry standard, VR1's high-performance formula is tested on the track and trusted on the road to ensure your engine is protected from metal-to-metal contact. And I use it so much, I haven't got my car on the bottle. That's why whether I'm racing or cruising, I protect everything I drive with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
Welcome back to the Gridlife Midwest Festival and GingerMan Raceway. We are getting set to go back driving here in just a couple of minutes' time, but we do have a black flag all right now in the middle of our Street and Street GT qualifying 1 session for the NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. Just mechanicals and gravel trap stuff, so no big ones. We're just cleaning up some stuff around the racetrack here before we get back going at them. And the consequences here at GingerMan, not incredibly high, but you can still get yourself in the kitty litter.
They advertise themselves as the safest track in the country, but that doesn't mean that things can't go terribly wrong.
So we're just waiting here for the return here of the Street and Street GT stuff here. And again, we had some really good battles already forming in Street GT between Jackie Ding and Kyle Magnuson, so we're expecting the resumption of that battle here, hopefully in a few moments. As we get set here, just checking in on some updates from my phone. Everything else looks good for the time being. I had some great battles in Sunday Cup and Club TR as well. And again, how the format works, we have our qualifying 1, our qualifying 2, qualifying 3. All you could lump into 1 session. We take the top 5 of each class and we send them to the podium sprint tomorrow afternoon, where each driver of those top 35, 5 from each of our 7 classes, will get to run 2 flying laps basically on their own, and that is the moment that they have to perform. And we've seen track conditions get progressively worse throughout the weekend, and what that means is that podium sprint not going to be probably your fastest lap of the weekend, but that's when you have to put it on and go for the show.
So thankfully everyone gets the same track because it's run at the same time, so there's no unfair advantage for that, and what you get is what you get.
And again, we run that basically slowest to fastest, so the fastest cars here at this racetrack will go at the very end of the day tomorrow, which we will see some cooler temperatures probably in the late afternoon, so that might help things out here. But long days as we approach the longest of the year here in the early summer at GingerMan Raceway in front of a sold-out crowd. I don't have an official number to share.
I can't believe it.
But
incredible.
It sold out yesterday.
Like, kind of early.
Yeah, we sold out last year, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah.
But this year, camping, GA, racetrack stuff, all completely sold out. We've jammed this place full with as many people as you can possibly fit in this zip code.
We went on a bit of an excursion last night out into GA just shortly after track went cold, and I couldn't believe how many people there already were. So it was already easily a third full back there, and what an incredibly organized. I mean, they're doing so well this year.
A really great job, and we've seen some aerial shots.
Chaos.
Yeah, I mean it's probably chaos. It just looks not like
fair.
that. We've got our Hyundai Ioniq 5 Skycam showing us the aerial shots around here this weekend, and this is one of the most spectacular places to get those aerial shots. It's just an amazing thing to look down on here. But Cerise caught up with some of our drivers earlier this weekend, and let's hear what she had to say with one of our competitors.
What is up, guys? I am here with Tom in a hot tub. If you have ever been to a Gridlife event, you might have seen Tom in his tub. But here we are. We're having slushies. We got a hot dog roller. Glizzies. Excuse me? Tom, why do you do all this?
Well, car's good, and
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
I'll
Cheers.
drink to that.
Cheers.
Well, anyway, guys, if you're here, come over and check out the time machine. Hot tub.
Hot tub time attack. Gridlife 2023.
Gridlife 2023 hot tub time attack. They got slushies, they got hot dogs. I'm not saying you can have any, but it's here. You know what I mean?
God bless.
Ice cream paint job.
That's what's up.
Yep. Just gonna let these puppies air dry. You know what I'm saying? Are you definitely?
Oh man, that is. I mean, look.
So I'm not proud to say that's my paddock spot.
Oh no,
those are my friends.
Oh boy,
not proud of it.
They got the glizzies on the grill over there.
What he's lovingly refers to now is glizzies and slizzies.
Oh no, I hate that. I hate those words together. Those are not words I like together. But this is what Midwest is all about. We talked about melding car culture together, but really this is just a big old party that just happens to have racing at it. And we've had some really great events this season. We've gone to some great racetracks, but there's something about coming back to GingerMan. It's home. Everyone's comfortable here.
Yeah.
And we get little zones. You get little hot tubs. We got the Adam Jabay hot tub water that went around a little while last year.
This year we're using a diesel cruise that's top has been chopped off to heat the hot tub. So that's a thing we're doing.
How?
They looped out the heater core and put a heat exchanger in its place. And so then their water gets pumped out of the hot tub and through the heat exchanger and back into the hot tub again. We were able to get it up to like 101, 102 degrees last night, which is where you want a hot tub to be. And it took less than an hour, which is remarkably faster than
that's crazy.
Comes with it.
Now, this is the car that you took on Chop Top.
Yes, this is a car that one of my friends took on the Chop Top Challenge.
And one of your other friends stuffed into a tree in the woods at Rally Ranch.
Yes, Gridlife Motorsports director stuffed into a creek at Rally Ready Ranch in Austin, Texas.
I was there. Car's back on track, it sounds like, so let's resume this session. As Street and Street GT will go back on course after a short black flag period to clean up a couple spills and things around the racetrack. And it looks like a couple cars are going to peel on in. Others will go back out. I see a couple street mod cars getting lined up here.
Some of my favorite cars here this weekend.
Yep. Cal Fortner getting lined up. He's got a new Mercedes badge on the nose of that thing after knocking it off at the Armco at Watkins Glen. Had a little slip in the qualifying session and took a little spill. But, of course, Al's Auto Body took quick work of that.
Well, if there's anybody that can take care of that stuff, it's him, thank God.
All right, so Street and Street GT back on course. They're probably going to get a lap or two, and then they're going to, checker flag the session and turn us over to Street Mod competition for the next session on track.
Street Mod lineup.
And there are a whole bunch here this weekend.
So many. So exciting.
Mike Kuhn's on track there. I think that's probably Ito Waxman in the C6 Corvette, the silver car. Now, we have to talk about Ito because at Watkins Glen, he put on an immense display of driving. He went so fast at Watkins Glen that the stream viewers didn't believe that he ran the lap time that he ran because it was 4 seconds faster than Jackie Ding. And everyone knows Jackie Ding is fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's certainly developed that reputation.
Yeah, so Ito absolutely.
That's wheeling it.
He was wheeling it. This car has no aero on it.
Nope.
It is full bolt-on. It makes a whole heck ton of power.
Yeah.
And down the back straightaway, I don't know what speeds he was doing, but it was fast. And then in the rain, he put up another great flyer. He won that weekend, and as it stands, he's 7th in the standings with that win. But Andy Volkel has been at all the events so far in his C8 Corvette in Street GT. Third at Carolina Motorsports Park, 4th at Watkins Glen, and a win at Rev Up has Volkel leading the way. Brandon Hodge won at CMP, and 5th place at Rev Up, so he has currently scored 2nd. More points. This will be a tough one, though, for Ito. Without aero here at this racetrack, I
Yeah.
think that'll be a tricky one.
Yeah, and GingerMan certainly plays the cards with at least some downforce.
But, I mean, again, you can't do a lot.
Oh, look at him sliding that car through that corner.
Again, you can't add a lot of aero to Street GT, but this car just doesn't have a lot to begin with.
Well, and C6s are naturally very slippery cars,
Yep.
so that's going to play well into some of those high-speed courses.
Kyle Magnuson is in that Porsche just behind that yellow and black car.
Great-looking car.
Lovely car. And here's again our Street GT lineup, but still Jackie Ding up on top, Volkel third. Prusent clinging to a podium sprint spot by 1/10 of a second over Alex Artea, who we have not seen back on track after he pitted in early in the session.
That's true.
And Ito has not yet gotten a representative lap time, so if this is a good lap for that 84, he could be up on top.
5:19, no, that's definitely not where we would expect to see him.
Maybe a golf cart could do that lap, but here comes both Magnuson and Ito Waxman. That silver Corvette, I think, is still the one to watch here on this lap as we head down to turn number 11. Look at that Cayman. What a great track car. Turn 11 here. Here comes Waxman. Will he jump into the podium sprint position? He won it at Watkins Glen. Will he have a shot here at GingerMan Raceway? To the top of the board by a second. Magnuson up to second place.
Magnuson moving up as well. What? As they catch the checkered flag.
And Alex Artea up to fifth.
Look at that.
Hodge was third. Now he's
Is it
sixth.
getting better than that with the checkered flag out and so much mixing up, and now all of those guys who just got knocked around are going to have to sit on that all night. There's nothing they can do about it.
That was so cool. Waxman, again, absolutely just coming in and laying down a flyer. That is a full
36.4.
1.2 seconds faster than Jackie Ding.
That's an incredible lap.
Oh, man, that car, that is going to be a weapon this year if he comes out to more events.
And
you only need 4 to compete.
Sliding around with that, what an incredible drive.
Oh, great stuff. Let's have a look at the street standings as well while we're in here. Get the street stacker up and have a look at where they landed. Luca Barberis, Tony Barber, Sam Bosnian, Mike Coons, and Charles Miller. Spaz up to 5th place.
I'm so happy to see Charles back up in there. So
And by a second over Eddie Siegel, so he's in there by a fair margin.
Yeah, he kind of took last season mostly off as kind of a build and develop season, so I'm glad to see him right back into the action.
Yeah, Patrick Doherty's here, by the way, from our buddy from Valvoline, 9th place, improved on that lap.
Civic Type R.
Yep, a very stock Civic Type R also. Just got the Valvoline oil in it, keeping everything lubricated.
I think he just drives two
Oh,
events and
he's got a car seat in the back.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, for his young daughter. That's awesome.
Love it.
Great look here at the street class standings, and Luca Barberis really a strong lap there on top by 0.2 of a second over Tony Barber and Sam Bosnian, who's 0.3 back. I'm sorry, that's by a second and 0.2. It's a 38.1 to a 39.3. So really strong efforts there. Cody Umba in the 69 car down in 14th place. We saw him, I believe, at Watkins Glen. That is also a Honda Civic. And that was a 7th place a 6th place at Watkins Glen, but down in 14th for this one. And we talked about how the level rises every time you come out to Midwest Festival. This is really the cream of the crop here.
Yeah. Certainly a place where most of our drivers feel most comfortable. Kind of, has been the home track for a lot of these people for a long, long time. 10 years, this event.
Yeah, that number continues to blow me away. And again, I was not here from the beginning. I joined in, my first Midwest was 2019, which was also the
17,
first.
So.
Oh, yeah. So you weren't.
Not too much.
Not too much. But our first live stream was 2019. And so I've been at all the Midwest live streams, which is cool. It was my first ever time announcing anything other than sim racing.
Yeah, well, I believe that was my first time announcing anything, period. So
yeah.
I somehow got sucked into that.
I remember that.
Largely involuntarily.
Yeah.
So Jabay kind of said, here's a mic, deal with it.
Yeah. And next up is going to be our street modified category. It looks like these guys get their own track time by the looks of it. So they will head on track now.
This is another really hotly contested, very tightly run class. So that Corvette C4 there, love it.
And Scott Hollingsworth is here for his one annual event.
Yep.
And up onto the racetrack we will go. This car is getting rolling here as we head out on the racetrack. I also see Cody Smith in his 1987 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah, Cody apparently a real glutton for punishment.
Yes.
Over the next 12 days, he has 9 days of competitive driving.
Oh
he's
my
going to be
gosh,
doing.
what's he doing other than this?
So as soon as he's done with this, he goes into what is called Autocross Week, where
Okay.
you drive kind of similar to the Drag Week style thing, where you drive, or One Lap of America, you drive from place to place, you compete in an autocross every day, and then have a transit to the next location. And then as soon as he's done with that, he'll be in Brainerd, Minnesota for Proving Grounds, which is a similar motorsports festival type event next weekend.
That's wild. So that's a lot of driving. He was at Watkins Glen, had a minor contact with the wall there, kind of bruised up the right front of that car. We had an onboard camera with him during his podium sprint laps, I believe. It's just such a cool-looking car on the inside.
Unfortunately, that's why he's not all arrowed out like we are used to seeing him. So missing the front wing, or the front splitter and rear wing on that car this weekend.
Yeah, there's Mike Omick in the number 6. And as far as the street modified standings go, that 6 car is right up at the top of it. 73 points to Cal Fortner's 34. That is a very impressive start to the season for Mike Omick.
Michael Omick's been running that car with Gridlife for many years, and the development that he's put into that car over the years, just incredible. So
2 wins and a second is his season so far.
So fast.
Into turn 1 he will go, and the wins were at Carolina Motorsports Park and at Rev Up a couple of weeks ago. He was second at Watkins Glen. To the 79 of Nick Kors, which was the first time since, I think, 2017 that we'd had a front-wheel drive car win in street modified.
And if there was anybody who was going to do it, it was going to be Nick.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's really cool. Omick real sideways there at the exit of 3. The rain helped, but Nick had to perform.
Yeah, I mean,
it was against all-wheel drive
the rain
cars.
helped, but most of his competitors are in all-wheel drive cars, which in theory should be better in the rain.
You would think, but it just outdrove him that weekend. It was a lot of fun to watch.
I know.
Rain, the great equalizer.
Nick's been putting a lot of focus into driver development and working with some of our Gridlife GLTC buddies.
Yep.
Scott Robertson, and improving a lot as a driver. So being faster with less power.
Yeah, really cool stuff. And he's done a great job this season, and it's going to be a fun one. He's here this weekend. We'll see how it stacks up now as Omick heads down into turn 10B and throttles up to head back for home here. Jamie Santos back on track. Was at Watkins Glen, but had a splitter infraction that kept him from competing in the podium sprint. So I think he's got that fixed. He had it fixed at Rev Up, I believe, and but did not. Was not at Rev Up. I'm sorry. He had 15 points. He had a 5th place at Carolina Motorsports Park, a 9 points, excuse me, at Watkins Glen, which is an 11th place result. There's Mike Omick across the stripe. A 32.5 is a pretty quick lap. That's a great lap.
It's a great lap.
Ryan Matthews, 2nd place. We saw him also at both Watkins Glen and Carolina Motorsports Park. He had a 3rd place at CMP. There he is. And he was running with a locked differential, I believe. Had a differential issue.
Yeah.
And still managed to cling to a podium spot at CMP. That was really impressive stuff. Cal Fortner, 3rd place on his first lap out. Kyle McHugh in the 29, up into 4th. And Andy Sow in 5th.
So, class record for GingerMan for street mod in the 31s, I believe?
I'm going to check that. I'm going to also double check that Omick did not get the record last week, which means it is at least a season old.
I think it's more than that. I believe it's held by Sean Krebsback.
Which he's running GLTC this weekend, so he's not going to.
As the Time Attack fan that I am, I was actually really sad to see him leaving Time Attack.
So yeah, it is a bit of a bummer. We've had a lot of that.
Yeah.
Fortunately or
GLTC's
unfortunately.
been stealing all my favorite drivers.
Yeah, we got Alex Moss in GLTC this weekend. Jeremy Swenson.
A long-time Time Attack.
Luke McGrew.
Yep.
So overall track record, not overall, we were looking for class. At GingerMan, we are looking at street modified. It is a 1:31.444 set by RS Motors, which would have been
Sean Krebsback,
2020.
Yeah, so that's an old record.
Yeah, it's about a second quicker than Omick has gone.
Ever since, I've been eagerly awaiting the first sub-30 street mod time, and nobody seems to have ever been able to pull it off.
Yep. That's quick around here.
So quick, and just I remember when street mod was running around that 140 mark where Club TR is now, and everyone was like, "Yeah, we're fast," and now look at it. 8 seconds faster than that.
Yeah, there's the 29. That's Kyle McHugh, who was at Carolina Motorsports Park as well, a 36.375, and trouble for the 878. He is off. That's Silva off in the weeds. I think is that turn. I can't tell what corner we're looking at. Is that 10A or 10B rather?
No, I think that's the road up to Spectator Hill. Is that
turn 3?
3? Out of the car.
John
I think he's
Silva.
afraid of a fire. There.
Yeah. Now you're.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He's going to call for the fire equipment here.
Yep.
You're not supposed to get out of the car unless your car's on fire.
Unless
then
your
get
car's
out
on
of the
fire.
car. So he's doing the right thing there. He's going to need fire equipment there.
Yeah.
So this is certainly
Bad
going to black
place to
flag
be
the
off.
session. Yep.
Might even red flag him. I'll stop.
I would say so. He's also in an area that's probably hard for drivers and crew to see. Oh, so we have another car off here.
No, that's
that's him. That is that 10B.
Oh, so it is 10. Yeah.
Yep. So he's off in the sand trap over there.
Yeah, that car.
Yep, they're going to have to get this stopped pretty quick here.
Oh no.
Yep. That's a long way over there too.
So far, especially for our immersion crews, which are largely placed right here at the top of 1.
Yep. I'm going to call that in, I think. Because I don't know. Could they see that over there, you think?
I would.
You'd think?
Well, there's a corner stand.
Yeah.
I
haven't,
there by
I
10.
haven't seen us go yellow just yet, so I would assume maybe we have. I can't
swear
see.
there's a corner worker station by 10 that should see
Well, we
that.
can see it. We cheat because we got the fiber cameras around the
That's
racetrack.
fair. That's fair.
But
oh man, that car is.
It is definitely gonna.
Oh no.
Yep. That is a flame. Not the way you want to start your weekend or finish it, by that matter. So the fire crews will get on that. We're going to probably step away for a couple minutes. We'll be right back after an ad break, and we'll rejoin you. Hopefully we get this fire put out. We'll be back.
Born on the track, bred on the mountains, raised on the podium, ready for anything and everything. Falcon Tires. Race tested, road ready. Learn more about our entire line at falcontire.com.
Owning a car can be expensive. It can also be confusing. What? And when things don't go right, there's no doubt it could be frustrating. But it can also be a lot of fun. And for those reasons, FCP Hero exists. Check this out. Do you and your car a favor and head over to fcphero.com to learn more.
Did you energize yet today? Time to NOS up. Get after it.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and when it comes to classics and high-performance cars, I only trust America's #1 racing oil, Valvoline VR1. It's built on Valvoline's long legacy in racing, so I can continue to build my own. With 2 times more zinc than the industry standard, VR1's high-performance formula is tested on the track and trusted on the road to ensure your engine is protected from metal-to-metal contact. And I use it so much, I haven't got my car on the bottle. That's why whether I'm racing or cruising, I protect everything I drive with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
Yeah, it's not that much more.
Welcome back to Gridlife Midwest Festival from GingerMan Raceway. Kyle Heyer joined by Adam Nielsen under a red flag situation right now for a car up in flames at turn number 10B. Drivers out and waiting for the crews to attend to that vehicle. Look at the campgrounds here,
Look
Adam.
at it.
This
It's
is
incredible.
unbelievable, and still people are packing in here.
Man,
I
it's
just
gonna.
blown
Tomorrow
away.
night is going to be chaos in the best possible way.
Yeah. Tonight everything starts. Tomorrow it finishes.
Yeah.
And it's just
Midwest Fest, we always finish strong.
Sold out crowd again, sold out field. Just we got our Hyundai our Hyundai Ioniq 5 Skycam looking down. This is such a cool pattern shot.
Yeah.
It's almost like you could like a seamless texture. You could like put, like make mosaics out of it almost. It's just such a neat shot.
All those people.
All the tents strapped down hopefully well, because we always get that typical Midwest blow-through storm. Here's a look at the car concourse in the bottom left of your screen by the pond over there by the A-frame building. And the famous tower up at the top of the screen there. And that paddock is as full as you can get it. I mean, there is not much else to pack in here. You can see so you see the line of cars still coming in.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
how miserable.
But they're gonna have the best time.
I know, but just standing there waiting in
Oh.
line. It's 95 degrees or whatever it is here. Just
Look. We sold this place out. We're looking at the campgrounds going, where are you going to put more people? And then you have this line of cars that's out the zip code.
Yeah.
And they're still going to pack them. Look at 3 lanes coming in, 5 lanes. It's like one of those, like when you see pictures from like other countries where they got like 20-lane expressways going through a toll booth.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like right now. Unbelievable. And they are doing car checks and everything to keep everybody safe down there. So that might be part of the process, or it is definitely part of the process. But they are using every available inch of space around here to pack everybody into this awesome festival. Still under red flag for the someone just said rotary pond because it's a triangle.
Oh yeah, never thought about that.
I haven't
That's
thought
a
about
good
that
point.
either. Oh, that's excellent. Man, MX304 on YouTube. That is a great mention there. There is the track mod McLaren 720S. Jason Kanakary behind the wheel of that car.
One of my favorite drivers for a very strange reason. I have a huge soft spot for McLarens, and I own, of all terrible cars, a Dodge Omni.
Okay.
Jason Kanakary here. He has his McLaren, of course, and a Dodge Omni. So I'm fairly certain if you have the Venn diagram of McLaren and Dodge Omni owners, he's the only one.
Okay, that's amazing.
So he bought one that hopefully we'll see as a GLTC car sometime soon.
That's really cool. And Jason, he took me for a ride in that car at Heartland Park last year.
Yeah.
You get to like 130 miles an hour. You just watch the dashboard. And you think it's going to stop accelerating because like every earthly car stops accelerating at some point. And then you just hear the turbo go.
And I brought a helmet this weekend just because I expect to take him up on it.
That is so cool. Yeah, it's a great car. He's very competitive in it as well. I think it was at Watkins Glen didn't have the right tires for the wet, so it struggled a little bit there. But as far as his track mod season goes, he is up in the mix. Well, I say up in the mix. He's leading by a whole bunch because he's really been the only consistent driver to run all three events. And he's won 2 of them, Rev Up and Carolina Motorsports Park.
Cool.
So leading by a handy 30, 40 points over Chris Hatch in a Model 3 who won at Watkins Glen in the wet.
A Model 3 and track mod, huh?
Yeah, they were set up for the Model 3 Challenge, which will be with us later this year at Lime Rock Park. Here's a great look on the Ioniq 5 Skycam over there at the festival grounds getting set up. And it's a whole other crew that comes in for this. I mean, again, Gridlife is a relatively small group, a lot of volunteer efforts on these big weekends, but it's a whole separate group that comes and helps sets up the whole festival area. Without them, we couldn't do it. It's just so much.
No, I don't think people realize how small Gridlife really truly is. From like an operational side.
Right.
There's not very many of you guys.
A lot of small group with a lot of people doing a lot of big lifts, and then we cannot do it without all of the event staff and then the volunteer staff that do it. There are a lot of people here that are just passionate about Gridlife and are just putting in the effort because they love it.
Yeah.
And while Gridlife is only 6 people at the core,
right?
Without
dozens of people, myself included, volunteering at any event that I can make it to.
You can't have an apple without the core, but you can't have the outside's the sweetest part.
I anticipate being at least 3 to 5 Gridlife events a year, and just want to be here to help. So
yeah, and thanks for being here. By the way,
I've yet to drive a single one of them.
I asked Adam yesterday. I was like, "Hey, can I have your help today? Because we don't have a Greg Creamer this weekend." So I was like, "We'll grab Adam. Adam's around."
Missing Greg.
Yeah, Greg's great. I love Greg Creamer, and what a privilege is it to have him on the broadcast when we can get him. Exceptional.
2 years ago at Mid-Ohio, when you were unable to be there, unfortunately, and it was me and Greg, I was like almost starstruck.
Yeah,
because I grew up listening to him on TV, and it's just so weird to be sitting next to a voice that I'm used to hearing through my TV for years and years and years of my life.
Right,
So,
and he's passionate about Gridlife, and
Yeah.
he told me earlier this week, he goes, I'm so bummed I can't be there. He's got some other things to do this weekend. I think he does a lot with Moto America and motorcycle racing and
Cool.
that, so he's on
Very
that.
cool.
But, of course, the voice, long time of Grand Am and IMSA. He's done some Formula One commentary, 24 Hours Le Mans, Fox Sports commentator for many years, Speed Vision, SRO America for a handful of years, Ferrari Challenge. What else? I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, I think I remember him on Speed Vision because I remember watching that as a small kid when my parents were league bowling on Friday nights and
Yeah.
I was home alone, you know.
Yep.
And it's just so weird to hear him in the flesh.
Yeah, and he's great, but he could not be here. He also will not be at Circuit Legends, which is I think he's bummed out more than us about that. I mean, we're super bummed, but Greg, he's like, I hate that I can't be there because that's the best event ever.
Yeah,
and
it was such a magical place last year.
It really was. So we're gonna be missing him there as well. Circuit Legends, by the way, if you're anywhere near the Northeast and Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, you should go because that event you're gonna see a lot of cars like this. Circuit Legends from around the world, around the country, are going to bring in a lot of cars, both static displays and on-track displays. FCP Euro is a big helper for us for that event. They put on a great show with us over there, and the track staff, Dickie, and the whole crew over there at Lime Rock Park, they have made us feel at home. And for the first time ever, we've signed a multi-year agreement with the racetrack, 3 years through 2025 to run at Lime Rock Park.
That's so exciting.
I mean, it just you feel the love when you're there, and Dickie and the crew. You know, they're not obligated to help us set up the event, but they're there lifting boxes and moving chairs around and in the weeds there. And you can't ask for anything else. It's just awesome. SCP Euro, again, is a big presence there. They've got some awesome – they bring Circuit Legends with them everywhere they go this year.
That's true.
We got Pete Collins over there at the drift car. We've got Ben Morawski in the Mini Cooper, who's running in GLTC. Nate Vincent is running in Time Attack this weekend. Hyundai N's got a huge display off just to the side there. They've got some display vehicles. The Ioniq 5, which is our Skycam coverage here this weekend. What a cool EV that thing is.
Yeah.
And honestly, Hyundai's visual branding of their cars right now, what an awesome look. I love that digital, those like digital cube rear taillights. Just a stunning visual that they have on those cars. Really neat stuff.
You drove the Elantra all the way to Watkins Glen, didn't you?
I did. I drove it here too,
Yeah.
and drove it on track yesterday. And,
Oh, geez.
and we're actually going to have the Hyundai N track preview tomorrow that will have GoPros of me driving that with Cone in the right seat.
Oh, no.
And a real big understeer moment that the stream team happened to catch on the drone, so I'm not excited about that. But
Well,
it's a great car. You can drive it across the country and get 35 miles to the gallon and then take it on the racetrack and beat the heck out of it for 5 laps, and it doesn't
Yeah.
even care.
Yeah, I talked to Adam Jabay about it at length, and he seems to really love that car on track. He was
It's
very,
awesome.
very impressed with how quick it is.
It can do a little bit of everything. That's pretty awesome. There's the checkered flag. Well, I don't know if that's a real checker. They're just having some fun over there. But awesome stuff. GingerMan staff always great to us here. Great personalities,
Yeah.
making us feel like we're at home.
What a group of interesting people.
I'm motioning to Cerise and we're like, what's going on out there? We're on a delay because of that red flag situation. Yeah, little flames over there out of the hood of a Civic down at turn 10B. So no updates on that just yet. Again, we just see the driver was out. This might speed up or accelerate the closing sessions here in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship. They get 3 attempts to qualify, but Street Mod didn't really get a ton of laps in before we had that. So they might have to kind of rush through these to get set up for tomorrow morning. Again, we still have some drift to do this afternoon, so we have to get that done before the day is over. So a couple things slowing us down this afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's just what happens when you have this many cars, Adam.
It's inevitable. But
It is. We did have a couple practice sessions last night, and
man, here we go with this again.
oh, I love this.
Getting us motion sick.
And again, the aerial coverage this weekend, the Ioniq 5 Skycam, giving us all these awesome shots, and the FPV drones there.
Still, we need to get I don't care where we do it, but we need to get a transponder on a drone.
Yes.
And have it fly a lap. I
That'd
want to
be
know how
so
fast
cool.
it would
Can
go.
we do that, Matt? If Matt's listening in the trailer, anybody's listening to the trailer, is
I think
any of
the issue is that we have to have a place where we're inside the track, so that his range can reach the whole.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't think he can probably do.
Transponder on a drone has to happen. 2024. If we can't do
I'm
it
telling
tomorrow.
you, we need a transponder on a drone.
Yeah.
I want to know what kind of lap time.
Does it
can
go
do.
sub 140?
That's what.
I mean,
Here we go.
look, I'm just saying, if
Yeah,
it does.
I mean, if we have to stopwatch this or whatever.
Oh,
it's
he's
gonna
going.
take-
Here we go.
That's
All right.
Jeez, they're so fast.
Oh, here we
It's
go.
So incredible.
Let's see how far we can make it. Into turn 1. Here we go. Clip that apex right on the curb. Right out to the edge of 1. Get real low here into turn 2. Yep, find that apex. 1, 2, get to the outside curb at 3. Now down the backstretch. Here we go. This is awesome,
See,
Adam.
I'm telling you.
All right, he's running the drift line here on driver's right. Get back to the left. Late apex corner here. Oh, right on the edge. Nice cornering. Didn't use all the rumbles on the left. That's all right. Into turn 4. Flat out here for the drone and for the
Absolutely.
cars. And into 5.
Coming into the more complicated portions of this track.
Ooh, this is run out a little wide. It's going to get real tight. Get that bank in there. Look out. Mayday. almost ground impact there. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Someone's got to be timing
I'm
this, right?
sad we didn't. Yeah.
Oh, the chat will time it. We'll know.
That's fair.
Right on the inside. Line's a little wider than that there, but no, we'll tuck it in tight. And into 8. This is where I'd expect to lose range, but if they don't, wow, this is so cool. Into 9 now. He's staying in track limits too and everything.
Perfect. See, this is what we needed.
All right, into 10B now. Right past the. We're getting a little fuzzy there. You got to stay high because the ground's going to obscure it. But
Yep.
nice clear line through there up the hill. Now we're in the clear now. We're
There
coming
you
back.
go.
We're finishing the
Back up
lap. This is dope.
The fastest part of the track here. the back straight.
And down into turn number 11. We're maxed out now?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
I mean, they kind of fly around at max all the time.
Yeah, that's true. We're probably using an
perfect.
entire battery to do this, by the way.
It's worth every little percentage of battery.
And across the line. Get there, get there, get there. That might have been a sub 140. 69 seconds.
Oh,
Yes.
Look at that.
That wasn't the
That's
actual time,
amazing.
probably, but that was dope. Thanks for doing that. And off into the grass.
1:42 is what we're being told.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Oh, cool.
Was what I'm hearing. So.
Oh, boy. That was awesome. Thanks for doing that. Wasted an entire drone battery, but that was cool.
Some things are worth it, you know?
Yeah. Cool stuff. Again, we're still waiting for the cleanup down there at 10B. Again, there was a car that had some flames coming. As far as I saw, they had it put out, and they were just trying to probably figure out how to hook it up to the rollback to dig it out of the sand trap over there at turn 10B. That's a new addition this
new
season.
sand traps this year.
Yep. Now, they have them at 3 and at 10B. And they have always had one at 11.
Yeah.
And the goal is to stop cars before they get to the long grass. Matt's here.
I could have gone 10 seconds faster.
Oh, Matt ran out of
saw
power.
that.
He could have gone faster.
I'll charge up.
Matt's gonna recharge and go again. Oh man.
He's like, oh geez, he's genuinely excited about it. I love it.
Well, we're hearing that they timed it at like 150, but Matt's gonna throw a new battery in and go again. While we're waiting for. I mean, look, can we pass the time any better?
You got to do something.
You got to do something. Yeah, we're feeling for our buddy that's got the car a little toasty down there. That really stinks. But
terrible.
So, by the way, while we're on that topic, while Matt's recharging, this is, there he is running. He's got to go get it because it ran out of power. But this is why we really encourage drivers to have fire extinguishers, or if you have the means, fire suppression. It's always a good idea to have in the car. But sometimes if you don't have it and you have something like that go wrong, it's definitely a learning moment. It's real tough to watch, though.
Yeah, just having a bottle's not a significant amount of money to get.
Yep.
And just have it in there.
It's just not a bad idea. There he is. Mr. FPV getting his bird.
His walk of shame.
Oh, boy. Well, the sky cam is the ground cam for a second. But here we go. He's going to walk back over, change the batteries out.
You don't know how long I've wanted that.
Well, we did it. We're going
That's
to do it again.
amazing.
There's Matt Marcoux having a blast there. There's Colleen, our social media manager. Marcoux is one of our awesome
Now
photographers.
There's a GoPro angle I want to see.
We'll see how fast Marcoux can do a lap with head banging on a go-kart.
Hit himself in the nose.
Oh, boy. Yeah, as far as fire suppression systems and things and roll cages and just general safety, let's talk about that for a second because it's always a topic that comes up when we talk about motorsports at this level.
Yeah.
Generally, when you're working with lower and slower classes, the safety requirements, obviously, you got to run long pants, helmet, all the traditional things that are required by every organization. One of the great things about Gridlife time attack classes across the board is that you can make any safety additions you want to make, and there are sections in the rules that permit any class, you can add a roll cage as long as you're adding that weight back or only removing parts that you need to add that roll cage. It is always recommended. But obviously, modern cars in particular, their crash energy reduction is really, really good. So now in Track Mod and Unlimited, there are provisions in the rules. Once you're beyond a certain point, you do need to have those things. Unlimited is now required, and also Hans devices are now required in Street Mod and Up, which is a great thing as well. Those are pretty pricey things, but again, any investments in safety are worth it. So basically, Adam has told us that our motorsports director, that they're working down the line. Basically, every year they're increasing safety standards, and this year Street Mod was the one to bump those standards up. As far as fire suppression goes, always okay to add it. It is not a requirement yet in some of the classes, but it is a requirement in the higher level classes. And in Touring Cup also, you have to have a fire bottle. You have to have some way of putting out a fire in your car. You have to have kill switches, all those things.
Right.
So that's all the serious stuff out of the way. But, we like to talk about safety because the goal is always to improve it. And there are certainly ways to improve it, and that's what we're doing every year is to work everybody up to that point because it is an investment, but it is an investment in your safety, and you don't need it until you do.
Yeah, and then it's too late.
Right. And even if you're on track in an HPDE, again, anytime you're on track, even by yourself, there's risk associated with that, and so you should be prepared to take those risks. And we always tell people, especially in GLTC, that our safety record is very good with car-to-car contact, but don't take a car on the racetrack that you're not willing to walk away from, because that's just the realities of motorsport. And I've always said it like this, that we don't accept crashes and contact and big offs and things, but you have to acknowledge that they sometimes happen in the world of motorsport.
It's going to happen.
Right. So it's not we're not accepting it. We're not saying it's good, but we're normal. We're just saying that sometimes it happens, and we have to be prepared for all of those things. So still waiting for the cleanup here. And again, one of the great things about GingerMan Raceway is that we can run a little later. So we're going to probably take as much time as we can, so we'll stick around here. We might get a little shorter drift session into the evening, but we'll have plenty more drift tomorrow afternoon as well. The music does start relatively soon also, and when the music starts, that tends to be when the motorsport stuff winds on down. There's John Raymond, who is one of our track staff here this weekend. He's got the radio shuffle going on, regulating the racetrack, and behind him is Carson, who's one of our helpers here this week on the motorsports team, leading up the efforts on the track staff side. Mike Cohn behind him. He's our pace car driver and one of our operations guys as well. A lot of people to make it happen.
So many.
Again, and traveling from all over the country to be here and to help us out. There's a look at the Track Mod group and the Unlimited group that is at the back of this shot, getting ready to go in a couple of minutes. Again, this is a longer slowdown. But you know what this means? Cooler race draw. Oh, are we getting set up? Here we go. All right, set those timers up. We're going for a lap. The Ioniq 5 Skycam. This is also like our Hyundai N track preview. Here we go. And time. Here we go. Off into turn number 1. Let's get that apex. Turn 1. Nicely done. I can hear it zip on by.
Yeah, it's angry.
Sounds like a K-swap. Through turn 2 now. Get right on the apex there. Nicely done.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Down the back straightaway once more. Off to the left. And into, oh, no, that might have been a little bit of a cut there, but off, whoa, way out wide, got on the rumbles that time. Into turn 4, flat out, take that kink. 5 and 6. Here we go, tip it in tight. Nice line here.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And 6, a little bit better line, kind of went up to make that corner a little tighter. Carry on to 7. Hope you guys are timing this. Turn 7. Nicely done. Track on out a little bit. Maybe shorter way around is better in something like this.
You know, I think he's got the ability because he's got to get a little higher here to maintain his connection.
Ben Mish with the, they say you cut the course. You have to slow down to give up the time gained. iRacing flashbacks. We got cars rolling on track, but we got to finish this lap first.
It's worth it. They're warming up.
Warming
There's
up.
Nothing interesting happening.
Here we go. Down the back straightaway. This is our
you can see him slowing down before. He's keeping pace a lot better this time around.
Keeping some pace. Let's see if he can make it. He's juicing this bird, I'll tell you.
If this thing does a sub 140,
I think it's running out of power again.
We're packing it up.
Here he comes. Turn 11.
Yeah, he's definitely running out of power.
Come on, get there, get there, get there.
Oh, there he goes.
Come on.
There it goes.
And across the line.
Dude.
Woo! That was so cool. Oh, man, what a show. We got 2 drones. We got drones shooting drones.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, great work, guys.
They're telling us
awesome.
a 133 in our year. That's incredible.
133. That'd be like second in street hot. Oh, man, that was cool. Hey, 133. Awesome. That was great. Thanks, Matt, and thanks for the guys that are making that happen.
Oh, my gosh.
We got cars on track, and we're going, and this is going to be probably pretty brief session, so get your time in.
Yeah.
We have qualifyings tomorrow, 2 of them, but the track is cooling off late in the day here, Adam. These might be some really good conditions.
We might have some good sessions here. There's that beautiful McLaren 720.
Gridlife touring drone.
You know that the drone racing is a thing. We could totally add that as a featured thing for us.
I agree. And the upside, they wouldn't.
They don't take nearly as much space. They're a lot quieter.
Yeah. You know, we could race on Sundays at Lime Rock with that.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. All right, down to turn number 11. Let's kick things off. Here's Jason Kanakary. Watch the rear wing on this car. Up into turn number 11 and coming back to the stripe. Here we go. Into turn 1, here comes Kanakary. Love watching the rear wing on this car as he brakes. It stands up, and that basically is to push all the air out of the way, and it acts like an air brake, like an F-16.
Full active aero on that car. What an incredibly, insane engineering.
And up onto the back straightaway into turn 3 now. Kanakary again leading the standings in track mod this season, so we'd expect him to be right on top of this. He's first out. Is that Jimmy Rauch behind him, by the way?
Yep, that GT2 RS.
Yep. And we'd expect that car to be very fast.
So cool seeing such high-end machinery here at Gridlife.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because track mod used to stand for track modified.
Right.
And now there's really 2 paths you can take in the rule set. You can either continue down the path of track modified, or the class was renamed to track modern, which is really designed for modern supercars with modifications. And Jason Kanakary's done some things to this car, but the GT2 RS
as well. That's not a stock car.
Nope. But they're cars that are really capable from factory already.
Yes, absolutely.
And so cars that are highly modified but not supercars stack up pretty well against these things. So you end up with really a pick your own path for track modified or track modern competition. Listen to that thing scream down the back straightaway.
I just adore this car.
Look at how fast it's going. I'll bet you 130 or better, maybe 140 down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, I think he told me in the 150s.
Really? Okay, so he's cooking for sure.
Yeah.
Across the stripe, and we'll see where the lap times land here in just a moment. Jimmy Rauch, second across the stripe. That thing sounds awesome, too. Flat 6.
As any 911 does.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So Rauch across the stripe there. As far as lap times go, Rauch was actually the quicker of the two at a 132.938. Kanakary at a 134.954, so maybe working up to some pace in the McLaren. And looks like they're both still on it. Kanakary out on the curbing at the exit of 3. Up onto the backstretch now into turn 4, and again, even 4 into 5, you're going pretty quick. Grab a Chris Boersma, by the way, up to second place in a 135.199.
Oh, look at that.
And Dalton Klein, Iowa man.
Oh, look at him.
Up to fourth.
I'm so proud. We that car came here knowingly broken. We knew we had to fix it when it got here. So that was leave it to Dalton.
Pretty cool stuff. Sonneville, the 12, that's Andrew Sonneville, up into a podium sprint position, but 1 lap in. We don't really know how this is going to stack up. Probably not going to get a lot of laps, so you have to lay down a quick one pretty quick. And Rauch, I think he is backed off now in that 911 Porsche. By the way, the best number to have on a Porsche like this. Now, I did not see him on the timing here.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So I'm not sure if that was a transponder-related issue or not. I do have him on Race Hero. He's unlimited. That's why.
That would
okay, too many modifications for track mod. That explains. That makes me feel better.
Maybe he's on slicks this year.
Yeah, there he is. Top of the board in unlimited. Here comes Dallas Reed, another unlimited car. This is not the car that we've typically seen him drive at Gridlife.
I need to go over and look at this car. I haven't looked at it yet. You can hear it's turboed.
Yep.
But it's not hanging out of the hood like the last version of it.
Wow, that thing's going fast.
And he's got a bunch of fans on the back bumper. I think it might be rear mounted, which is an interesting way of doing things.
Well, he's bailed out of this lap. A 137.5 did improve. Ernestus Pizzellis, who's in a Corvette this weekend, looks a lot like Ferris Khartoumi's car before the carbon Kevlar.
Yeah, an incredible G-Speed build there. Really cool looking.
Certainly. And as far as the podium sprint goes, Ferris Khartoumi ran a record last night, but it was not a qualifying session, so he will still have to qualify in to the podium sprint. Bronson McNeamer, by the way, a V8 Miata in track mod. That car has seen some changes.
He's got the independent throttle body intake on that LS motor.
Yeah, ITBs.
One of my favorite looking things. I just love it.
It is an awesome. It's got a new livery on it this week.
Yeah.
Did a great job. I gave him Bronson a big high five for the decal application. It's just pristine.
I haven't
on
looked
that
at
car.
it that close, I guess. I always get distracted by the ITB sticking
Yeah.
out of the hood.
Yeah, great work there. There's Prozelis chasing down. I think that's Bronson ahead of him. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Nope, that's Dallas. Sorry. Andres Bertulis is in a Lexus in the 171, and as it stands, with only 5 cars on the track, all these cars would advance to the podium sprint, but everybody's waiting for Ferris to get out there and lay it down on the table.
Yeah.
So accelerating out of 10B now, up towards turn number 11. This is going to be our last track battle group, by the way, so as soon as this goes checkered, this is going to wrap up our NOS Energy track battle time attack qualifying 1. And breaking into turn number 11, here comes Prozelis, currently scored 3rd. And again, this looks like a lot like a Ferris Khartoumi light.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's worth some time, this time a pickup to 2nd place.
Look at that. Still a long ways back from Jimmy, and that's
It's going to be a tough one. And
incredible 32.
there goes the track mod entry of Bronson McNeaver. We'll go back, flip back over to track mod for me behind the scenes, Eric. He's got all the buttons showing us all the displays. There we go. There's Kanakri, Boersma, McNeamer up to 3rd place. Dalton Klein, Brian Blaine, top 5. Brian Blaine in that 162. That is an RX-7.
Yeah.
And a pretty wild-looking one at that.
Yeah. You know that a 36 in a Miata. That's trucking.
That's quick. I mean, again,
Impressive.
it's hard to lay this down in perspective because, again, as a relatively short racetrack, there's not an enormous difference between the slower cars and the faster cars here.
Yeah.
A GLTC car runs a 38, for
Right.
example,
Right.
and the fastest car here this weekend did a 23. So it's 15 seconds, which, you know, it might seem like a lot, or it might seem like not that much, but that's a ton of lap time
Well,
here.
considering the fastest GLTC cars are the 230s, 240s.
Yep.
And Ferris capable of north of 1200.
Yeah.
I mean, huge
And-
disparity in power there.
And he told me he's going to run on a low boost until it matters.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to watch. There's McNeamer now headed down through 9 and 10, up into 3rd place. So currently qualified into the podium sprint, and you see there the gap between Blaine and Sonneville, only about 0.6 of a second between those two. Power Stewart, Alex Westergaard, Nate Vincent, and that gorgeous FCP Euro Mercedes
Ah, yes.
down in 10th place. Don't really expect that car to be at the pointy end of the field, but he's out there wringing its neck regardless. Here comes McNeamer once more. Little slide there in the Bro Fab car at the exit of turn 11, and across the stripe. Will it be a pickup for McNeamer? It will not be that time through. 36.9 stands. There's Dalton Klein once again. Is it a pickup for Dalton? It is not. Festival grounds, every time we look, they're more packed.
So crazy.
Can't get over that. Also, the drone's still 1st place in track mod, by the way.
That's fair.
Iowa Man Racing on the side of that car.
Sporting it on my shirt today.
Yep. This car was airborne ice racing a couple months ago.
Dalton's not afraid to beat the crap out of that thing.
No.
There's no doubt.
Yep. I was shocked to see how much airtime it got in the ice, of all places.
Yeah. And he didn't really change that much from how you see it right now. I think, changed some shock settings and raised it as much as he could and said, yeah, that's good enough.
That diffuser is real serious. Is that a new
Yeah, that's a
addition?
new addition that he built himself. He's got a plasma table in his garage.
Oh, wow.
He's like literally just cutting stuff. So
That's cool.
yeah,
The technology and engineering
Grassroots
side,
engineering
it's
at
really
its
neat.
best.
So Dalton working his way around, currently scored in 4th place on the weekend, which would qualify him into the podium sprint. And the other thing about the podium sprint that we've touched on a little bit, Adam, is you don't have to be the fastest car. You just have to be the fastest moment.
Right.
Because you only have 2 laps to perform. So while he's 4 seconds off of Jason Kanakri, if Jason Kanakri can't put 2 clean laps together in the podium sprint, or Boersma or McNeamer, Dalton Klein's right there and battling for a podium spot as we get the checkered flag here on the session. Let's have one more look at the unlimited standings as well to see if there's any more changes on that side of things. Kanakri leads in track mod. Blaine, currently the last driver qualified in for the podium sprint in that category. And as far as the unlimited side, I don't know if we're going to see Ferris. Maybe we will, maybe we won't.
You know, I can't blame him if he doesn't, if he's waiting for tomorrow morning.
That might be the case.
Track conditions.
Yeah. But again, there's some risk involved with that.
Well,
Again, he doesn't. If he's going for records, which is what he's going for, he's set. He's already done it.
That doesn't mean he doesn't want to get it back out there and put on a show.
I think he wants to put on a show a little bit too.
So.
Let's be checkered flag here for our Track Mod and Unlimited group, which means we're going to end things here for our NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. Up next, we're going to have a drift session. Not sure how long it'll go because we're a little behind, but we will jump on that for you. It'll be Jared and Cerise, I think, will be sitting down here in a couple of minutes for that. We're going to step away just for an ad break, and we'll be right back. If you're on YouTube, transition over to the drift broadcast. If you're on Twitch or Facebook, hang tight. We'll be back in a few. NOS Energy Track Battle Championship Qualifying 1 is complete. We'll see you back tomorrow morning for Qualifying 2 and some more racing and drift from Gridlife Midwest Festival.
Born on the track, bred on the mountains, raised on the podium, ready for anything and everything. Learn more about our entire line at falcontire.com.
When you come to pit road, all 4 of you stay in the car.
Need that fire truck.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and I want to tell you about Valvoline's Flex-Fill Gear Oil, which is designed by car people for car people. It comes in a pouch, which is specifically made to work in tight spaces, and it saves me time versus the old pumping method, so I can focus on things like keeping my drivetrain running clean. Unlike the pump, the Flex-Fill pouch leaves no wasted oil and no wasted time. Plus, it keeps my garage nice and clean from any spills. All you gotta do is put the nozzle where you need some oil, give it a squeeze, and you're ready for the road. That's why I protect everything in my garage with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
All right, I just told my cameraman, Evan, that we have to get this car because this car is so hot, and I feel like there's something really sick under the hood, so we're going to see if we can find the owner. Ah! Hi. Okay, he's right here. JB, this car is really sick.
Yeah, thanks. It's an RX-7, so not a lot of people think it's sick, but I mean it's my little personal dumpster that I love. So
you drove past me before, and this thing sounded really cool. Can you show us what's under the hood?
yeah, it's not a rotary anymore. It's Toyota powered. It's a 2JZ GTE, and it's the VVTi motor.
Look at that hood just flimsy. Oh! That is so hot.
Yeah,
Okay.
It looks a little different than a stock RX-7, so I'm a bit OCD. Everything that I have, I put together nice and cleanly, so this is my happy place.
I'm so sorry I got so loud. This is a super clean engine bay, and it's going to stay this way all weekend.
Yes.
Dude, this car is so sick.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just dialing it in. This is a fast track. I had way too much grip in the gear. I needed to be 4th down there, but I could only be 3rd, running out of gear, and I didn't have enough time to get back on track after I fixed it. So.
That's okay. You have the whole weekend to go.
I know. I just want to keep driving. I don't want to stop. So.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the tour.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's good meeting y'all. Take care.